Hey everyone, it's gone really cold here in Toronto. It's freezing actually. I just went out for a little bit just to get a few things, and it's really cold. So I guess I won't be doing my walk today like yesterday. But I thought for today I would just do the reflection. I'm doing it a little early, I know, but I thought I'd just do a reflection on the Gospels. So I'm just going to read the Gospel and then I'll do my reflection. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Glory to you, O Lord. On the first day of the week, Mary of Magdala came running to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one Jesus loved. They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, she said, and we don't know where they have put him. So Peter set out with the other disciple to go to the tomb. They ran together, but the other disciple, running faster than Peter, reached the tomb first. He bent down and saw the linen cloths lying on the ground, but he did not go in. Simon Peter was following, now came up, went right into the tomb, saw the linen cloths on the ground, and also the cloth that had been over his head. This was not with the linen cloths, but rolled up in a place by itself. Then the other disciple, who had reached the tomb first, also went in. He saw and he believed. The Gospel of the Lord. So I would just invite you to reflect on that and how it's Mary of Magdala who goes and gives the disciples this news. She's a little confused. She doesn't know where they've put Jesus, and she's telling them they've taken him out of the tomb. So this reading is a little different to the other reading of the resurrection, where we have Jesus coming to Mary and calling her name and saying Mary, and then she recognizes that the Lord is risen. Here we have Peter and St. John running to the tomb and finding that the Lord is risen. They see the cloths lying there and they know that he is risen. It's a very moving scripture. And in the Christmas season, it's a scripture of good news, of in our confusion and in our doubts, knowing that the Lord is with us, that he's risen. And here, if you compare this to that reading where we have Mary believing because Jesus appears to her, just like with St. Thomas, here we have John believing from going into the tomb and seeing the cloths lying there. And they had seen Jesus in the flesh, and they believe his words now that he told them, I will rise from the dead. So these are very moving scriptures. I would invite you to pray with them, to reflect with them. And in them our joy is complete, our Christmas joy. Because again it confirms that every word of the Bible is true. The scriptures have come down to us through the oral tradition. And I don't think anybody would write down a lie to make it seem like 2,000 years later people still need to follow this way of life and believe in it. And it is our choice. It's our choice to believe, to go out and to share this good news with others, to help others. And I watched the Mass today. Father Peter Taroni gave the Mass, and like he was saying, all of us can do it. Any of us can do it, but we have to be prepared to defend our faith and to defend why we believe what we believe. And if we don't know the scriptures, if we're not reading the scriptures, if we're not hearing them in the church, then we won't know. It's like when we have the Christmas readings, they give us all the generations, all the genealogy of Jesus. Why would they do that? Because they want us to know it's come down through the family line, through the kingship, through the queenship. Because only certain families in those days could become priests. Only certain families were able to do it. And it's the same with us. If you want to preach, if you want to become a priest, if you want to share the good news, you do it through the church. You do it through believing in the scriptures. And all of us can do it. All of us have the same baptism, the same confirmation. We have access to the same scriptures. We have access to the same Bible tools. We have prayer, we have fasting. When evil comes against us, we believe in prayer and fasting. So in this Christmas season, these are very joyful readings for us to know that, like St. John, we're also called to go out and to share our lives, to share the good news, to share what is good in our scriptures, in our world, which is in a lot of pain. A lot of us are going through many, many difficulties, sicknesses, hardships, but that's where we get our joy. At least for me, that's why I go to the Christmas Mass, I go to receive the Eucharist, because I get my strength and I get my joy there. And there are certain priests I like listening to that just help me to be grounded in my faith, and they help me to stay grounded in my faith. So I hope you will take some time to reflect on the readings, to see what brings you joy in them, what is the good news for you in them. And also to remember that the scripture did say the world will hate us, but Jesus is with us in that. And we come to expect it. It doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't. But our good news is that baby Jesus was born, and we go to see the King. And the readings are not just there for the sake of, oh, you read it and forget it. They have warnings, they have guidance, they have good news. And just like the 3 kings that went to see Jesus, we can choose a different way to go home on our journeys. We can adjust our course. We can adjust how we travel. There are a lot of different things we can do to protect our lives. And we can also help each other and our communities and hold our governments accountable, because there is no greater power than Jesus. It doesn't matter what they do. In the end, Jesus wins. And he wins in the scriptures. The resurrection and the birth of Jesus are historical facts. And the message wouldn't have lasted this long if it was a lie. It wouldn't have lasted. Christians have been going through tribulation since the time of Jesus. And it will continue until Jesus returns. But our joy is in the Lord. Our joy is in these scriptures. Our joy is in St. John, the other disciple who reached the tomb first, also went in. He saw and he believed. And so we too believe. So I wanted to leave you with that, and the good news of Mary going to tell the disciples, hey, something strange has happened here. So they too go and they check it out. The women have a very important role in scriptures. It's very important for me as a woman, and it's something that Regis College helped to ground in me. My role in the church, my role in the world, and my role in my own faith, and in deepening my own faith and passing it on to others. Because at the end of the day, you can't buy faith. You can pray, and I pray and ask God to strengthen my faith. But it doesn't matter how much money or how little money you have. This can't be bought. And it's important. And it's available. Whoever wants to learn about theology, who wants to learn, take courses, there's lots of courses available, especially in the Western nations. There's a lot you can do online now. And I'd encourage you to do it if you can.